Welcome to Subramani. Uh, I'm going to talk about a topic about which financial influencers, etc., don't really talk about. It is a case of when a person is becomes single, and in my case, I'm talking about three women. I have not seen friends, clients losing their wives, but I've seen three friends losing their husband. In fact, recently one more classmate lost her husband, and that triggered this. What happens is normally in our houses we don't speak much about finance. We rarely talk about finance at all, and we don't talk about finance in a way that when you are alone, what should you do? Few people do, but they by the time they talk, they are in their 70s or maybe even in their 80s. So some people in their 70s and 80s know what to do in case of the death of the spouse. And in my case, in cases where I have dealt with, it is normally the man of the house who deals with the finances, the law, legal matters, etc. And so it is the wife who has to be told about these things. So it's not that women can't understand finance, but they largely think finance is a man's job and men think cooking is a woman's job. If we realize that at some stage we will be alone, right? The husband needs to learn cooking and the wife needs to learn finances. You cannot escape because these are basic skills, right? You cannot say, I don't know to make tea, I don't know how to clean the fridge, I don't know how to do any of those things. So it's not done, right? So you need to learn to do everything. When I'm talking of the fridge, I'm talking of the old frosting fridge where you have to clean the ice, etc. Today nobody has, everybody has a frost free, so that may not be applicable. You may have a cook, so it may not be applicable that you need to know how to make tea, but you may not have a 24-hour cook. You may have a cook for 2 hours, 4 hours, etc. So you may need to still have the basic skills. So both it is the duty of the husband to talk about finances with the wife, with the children, and the duty of the wife to get everybody in the house participate in the cooking. So typically, I'm not talking about cooking, but I'll talk about what do you need to know about finances. First of all, you need, as soon as the husband dies, almost immediately, you will need to access the bank account. You may need to access the mutual fund account. You may need to claim the life insurance. You may need to claim the pension, in the sense that you may have to tell the pension authority that your husband is no longer around and your pension needs to be changed. In some cases of annuity for the husband only, you may receive some lump sum, and so in some cases you may continue to receive a pension, maybe a slightly lesser amount, so you will have to handle these things. So, who are the people that you will need to? So, first of all, I think the chartered accountant and the financial planner is somebody whom you both should meet. Husband and wife should meet together so that you know the other person. Otherwise, you know it's a number in the phone book. It's a number. It's a person, and whom you say, oh, your husband says I'm going to meet him, and you say, oh, okay, bye. I'll do something else. That's not right. So first of all, you go and know your chartered accountant and know your financial planner. If you have an attorney, if you're big enough, if you're a business family, chances are you have a more sophisticated requirements. So you may have your own attorney, lawyer, whatever you want to call them. So it is important that when the husband dies, or the husband and wife first sit and make a document saying what are the assets we have, what are the assets, how are we going to use it, because not every family has a investment philosophy statement. I'm making this investment for daughter's education, I'm making this for son's education, children's marriages, right? So you don't have a statement saying all that. So it's important that there should be a statement saying why these investments have been made. Once you start making that, you will not have 40 50 schemes or 200 schemes and stuff like that. You will be more reasonable and responsible, saying these are 20 funds in which I have invested. Let's assume you have 20. Out of these, 5 are for your retirement, these 4 are for daughter's education, these 3 are for son's education, these 2 are for children's marriage, This is for the vacations that we take. So you have clear goals, you know why these have been invested. So maybe the vacation money is lying in a balance advantage fund, and you say whenever there is good balance we will go on a vacation. If there's a lot of balance we'll go on a foreign vacation. If there's less balance we'll go to Indian locations, or something like that. The persons that the widow in this case, and in all the cases that I have dealt with have been widows. The widow has to know who is the chartered accountant. What will the chartered accountant do? That's very clear. The chartered accountant mostly will file the income tax return. What will the financial planner do? The financial planner will tell you where your money is, and where it is invested, what it is invested for. But if you have dealt with a person saying, "Oh, come here, fill up this form," and then that person is going to be pretty useless. Good chances that your mutual funds, etc., are in joint names, which means it's either or survivor, and there is a nominee. So then you have to just fill up the forms. If it's just some form 2, form 3, for the units to be transferred to your name. And in case there is no nominee, you will have to file a form 3. You will have to then give your the spouse will have to give her bank account details. She'll have to do her KYC, and then it will get transferred to her. This is absolutely seamless. Now, there are tax implications. You have to be very careful. So, let us say the husband has died. The shares or units were held in the name of the husband and the wife. Now, the husband has died. Now, everything is in single name. Now, you have to change the nominee, right? You will have to make, or if the nominee is already your children, then it's fine. Unfortunately, in India, you cannot now make your children the second holder or something like that. You can't, because then you will have to redeem and reinvest, and it has tax implications. The only escape for this is to now make all these things into a demat mode, and from there it is easier. But anyway, I'm digressing. So it's important that you know who is your chartered accountant, who is your financial planner, whether you are comfortable communicating with them. Sit with the financial planner and say, okay, these are 2 3 medical insurance claims which have to be made. He was admitted in hospital 2 days ago or 3 days ago, so these claims have to be made. Then you sit with the financial planner and say there is a life insurance claim to be made. Then the mutual funds have to be transferred to single from joint name, the husband not there. So the death certificate will take some time to come. Let's give it 15 days. Then you get enough number of copies. Then you change it in the mutual funds. Then you change it in the bank. You inform the bank that that has happened. And then after that, you will have to go to the building society and should give the death certificate, maybe a copy of the will, the nomination form. All this would be with you. Then get the house transferred in your name. This is overwhelming, right? So this is the time when you have to be you are very vulnerable, and a slightly bad financial planner, or you call him a agent, or you call him a mutual fund distributor, good chance that he or she will try to palm off some bad expensive products because they're trying to help you. Now this sounds a little slimy, but you have to push back and say, I will make all my investments after all these processes are over and all this documentation is over. I have seen such cases where they have gone and sold some insurance for the woman. She was not earning anything, but she's taken a big insurance simply because when this person was helping, said, look, let us invest this money in an insurance policy, and that is a ULIP. So be careful about that. So be careful about the people around you who are trying to help you. Be careful about the insurance agent. Be careful about the bank RM, etc., etc., right? So seek help from somebody you know, somebody from your family, maybe brother, sister, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, whoever, or a classmate who is an attorney or somebody like that, right? When I'm saying attorney, I mean lawyer. I'm not doing it for an American audience, right? So go to the lawyer, make sure that the lawyer knows what you're doing, make sure that all the transfers are smooth. Mutual funds are very easy to handle. You may have to do it only in CAMS or Carby, and everything else will get done. But you have to make sure that everything is done, make sure that all the spellings are right, right? So Make sure that the name, your name in the PAN card, Aadhaar card, passport is all in sync, and in sync means they all have to be exactly the same. uh, Once you have done all that, after completing the documentation, you're already overwhelmed. One of the widows I know, she had married a classmate. She was 37 when this happened. So she was really distraught, and a lot of hand holding had to happen. So be careful about the communication. In some cases, in this case, the mother was alive. The girl's mother was alive. The boy's mother was alive, and he was just 37. And so she had to handle the parents. She had to handle the money. She had to handle her daughter's school. So handling all this is going to be quite overwhelming. But you cannot say it's overwhelming, so I will not do anything. You will have to handle all that. You have to handle the taxation. You will have to handle the transition. You will have to handle the bank account. You'll have to handle all this. So, and it is very important. So somebody near the person who is impacted should take charge and do all this work. It's not going to be very easy, but at least make a beginning. Don't wait for oh no, I'm overwhelmed, and it doesn't work, because then somebody else has to take charge, right? The sibling who understands all this has to take charge. In one case I know, she must have been about 56, 54, 55. Her husband had made a pretty big mess of the things. He had not left a will, he had not left anything. Some mutual funds did not have nominees. So, but her brother was a big builder, and he had his lawyers who took charge. And so, again, when you go through a person and you know he's a good lawyer, he's a good financial planner, things become easier. Otherwise, you're suspecting what will happen. So, be careful. One day, all of us, we all realize we love our spouses, but we are not going together. We will be single. So, if you are a man who does not know all this, learn from your wife. I know cases where the wife is handling all the finances. So, whoever is the spouse, I call them the teaching spouse and the learning spouse. It's the job of the learning spouse to learn, job of the teaching spouse to teach. Whether it is cooking, whether it is day-to-day running of the house, or whether it is finances. Teaching job, learning job, both have to happen. Thank you.